As the head of African Civil Society Organization INET, with me here today in Lira, northern Uganda, are my fellow youth, the young people from Burundi, South Sudan, Germany, Bosnia, and Uganda. Together, we are increasingly concerned with the conflicts in the Great Lakes region, especially the deteriorating situation in South Sudan and Burundi. We have witnessed many people have been killed, women are reportedly being raped, children being burnt, and properties looted, while hunger and hopelessness is on the rise. We have seen that most foreign nationals have evacuated South Sudan, as international communities as well have evacuated their staffs. Above all, sad enough, the local civil society, who are the first respondents, remains unable to obtain safe passages in Juba and around other parts of South Sudan. Consequently, they are unable to provide immediate ongoing needs for medical and other humanitarian assistance to civilians in need. It is unfortunate and unacceptable that the people of South Sudan have been denied this fundamental freedom while foreign nationals are allowed to evacuate out of the country. Furthermore, the ongoing evacuations of humanitarian workers has created the gaps in the delivery of essential life-saving service delivery to the people who are suffering. The restrictions of the freedom of movement for relief workers is inhuman, and it is contrary to the international humanitarian law. It is important that the African Union Peace and Security Council, as the guarantor of the agreement on ending the conflict in South Sudan, addresses these issues immediately while putting human life as the priority. We are together quite concerned that unless the African Union Peace and Security Council and United Nations urgently intervenes, innocent civilians in South Sudan remains at grave risk. In addition, the unrest we're seeing in South Sudan will further divide the country along ethnic lines, and fighting as well as suffering will continue. To my fellow young people, I know you are hurt, I know you are scared, and you are suffering as you are worried, because as war continues, the urge to strike back and revenge gets stronger. But believe you me, fighting has never and it will never be the solution. Together here, we stand in solidarity with you, and we know that regardless of your suffering, your choice for peace will extinguish the flames of hatred and bury the ethnic division that has killed us for far too long. So please, do not be defeated. To the international communities, please empower the capable local, nationals, and regional African actors who are painfully struggling to help the victims, yet without adequate resources. I urge the organizations that have evacuated to consider partnering with the local actors to help fill the voids they're leaving behind. To African Union, we know that whether be in South Sudan, in Burundi, in Somalia, Uganda, Central African Republic, or Nigeria, the African people have endured too much. With the unprecedented numbers of forced displacements and endless conflict, violent extremism will continue to gain ground, and so do suffering. We appeal to you to pass on the books to the youth, not guns. Deploy them in schools to study, not in the battlefields to fight for you. The more you glorify war, whether in the name of liberation or fight against terrorism, war will continue. Whatever harms South Sudan, harms Burundians, it harms Africans, it harms humanity. It is my sincere hope, as an African who lived and experienced war for over 20 years in northern Uganda, and standing here today with my resilient brothers and sisters from around the continent, that under the leadership of African Union, the people of Africa will overcome these dark chapters of our history and realize the promises of peace and prosperity. Hear us.
A bad peace is better than a good war.
Let's come together, we join our hands through prayers, and we make it. We hope and we believe that peace will come back to Africa.
Même si la misère n'est pas le bonheur, et l'argent aussi ou la richesse venant de l'injustice ne sera plus la misère. Même si on saura à dire ou à ne pas dire les choses qui sont en train de se faire dans notre monde, les autres le diront et nous serons un peu honteux. Ce que nous devons faire, c'est chercher l'amour et la justice et la paix régner dans notre cœur et dans tout le monde entier. Ce que nous voulons, c'est la paix.
When the love for each other overcomes the love for power, then peace can come to Africa.
Jamani, tunahitaji amani. Amani ndiyo mali yetu, sababu vita haina faida. Tumechoka, tumeuawa, wengine tumekimbia. Tunachoka sababu sisi ndiyo viongozi vya kesho. Tukumbukeni kwa mpango yoyote, serikali ikipanga mipango, kumbuka wa vijana ndiyo serikali ya kesho.
I've been a refugee now for almost 3 years, for a country who has enjoyed peace for less than 4-5 years. Why are we fighting senseless war? Why don't we fight for our education? Why don't we fight for our rights? Why don't we fight for our human rights instead of fighting for no one's interest? I'm urging all the youth to pick up your pen, pick up your book, and let's say no to war and let's embrace peace.
It is unfortunate that people think wars in South Sudan, and what are we seeing every day in West Nile? Influx of South Sudanese to Adjumani, Moyo, Yumbe, every day, suffering with children, mothers. And what does this show to us? That all of us, we should take part and support these people, especially let's join hands in solidarity with those in war and cry for their peace.
Jewe mpagaze ngaha nk'umurundikazi nitwa Bella Nshimirimana, nkaba ndi ngaha kugira mpamagara abajene bose urwaruka rwose iyo ruri mu Burundi, muri Sudan, mu Buganda, isi yose dushobora gukora kugira dushobore kugarukana amahoro mu bihugu byacu. Birababaje kubona abajene tuko turicwa, ari tutari ku ishuri, abavyeyi bacu ko bariko baricwa, abana bagapfa. Rero nashaka guhamagara abajene bose iyo bari hose, twese dukorere hamwe kugira dushobore kuzana amahoro mu bihugu byacu.
Nene wallahi tabna bil khatir, nene nasi Junub Sudan, yalna tabanin wa abwana tabanin wa humatna kullum تعبانين أنا دارين سلام لكل جنوب السودان. لو شفت حسد القضية اللي حصل في جنوب السودان كعب شديد أننا منا بالكثير منا كان قبل 21 سنة والموت ده ما خلاص نحن يعني كويس معنا اللي هنو نحن لقينا independent لقينا استقلال جنوب السودان. حسد ما في داعي لمشاكل، نجي سوا كل الجنوبين نشغل سوا نبني بلدنا. I'm
a South Sudanese. 3 days ago, I walked from Juba, 4 hours from Juba town, in order to access means to come to Uganda and attend this peace initiative. On my way, I faced a lot of difficulties because South Sudanese are not really allowed to come out of the country. They keep asking me a lot of questions. That what are you going for? Peace is already in the country. We are not allowing you. Do you have a national security permit in order for you to go outside of the country? But I walked like someone who is just moving in a nearby place. And at the end of the day, through the help of the Uganda Convoy Rescue Team, I was able to cross the border successfully and join this peace initiative. I appeal to our leaders that what we have seen on the way with millions of South Sudanese stranded with all their luggages looking for a better place to live, let's not go to that. Let's sit down and preach peace to our people. We are tired of war, we are tired of hunger, we are tired of what is happening in South Sudan.
My name is Ikayak Martha, a South Sudanese. On behalf of the women and the children of South Sudan, we are really appealing for peace. We are tired of suffering. We are tired of exposing our children to the traumatic here of gunshots. Peace is what we need.
I'm Susan, I'm South Sudanese. But I'm so sad, I'm not happy. I don't have peace. We are a young nation. We are a blessed nation. We don't love fighting. We need peace. We don't love the guns. We are tired. Our motherland is crying. She's weeping every day. She needs peace. No amount of gunshots, no amount of bombing will bring us peace. But we should forgive each other. We should put an end to this. And it begins now. It begins with me. It begins with you.
War is cruel. War is barbaric. There's no winner in war. it is far risky to ensure to entrust the future of the young generation into the hands of politicians. It's time for dialogue. Dialogue is the way. There's no amount of guns that will stop war. Until we sit down, until the leaders entrust and believe in the future of the youth, there's no future without us. The future belongs to the youth. It's time to listen to the young people.
We cry, work, and commit to peace in Africa.